I have made my instructions clear. You should not touch someone's hand when you spread out your hands, your arms rather. All right, good morning, grade 8 students. Welcome to this year's high school orientation. I have, in our midst, we have high school students in grade 10. They could answer questions that you may have. We could have some students answer some of the questions that you may have. So we'll get started. The idea is to provide you with relevant information that will help you succeed in your transition to high school. This is not going to be all the information that you need to know. It's just giving you a preview, a quick preview to what to expect. So let's start with curriculum. Curriculum has to do with what you study. So regarding your studies, please note that beginning in grade 9, you start earning academic credits. We give you credits, and these credits are based on successful completion of a full course, either by semester or by year. So by successful, it means you need to pass. You need to pass in that course. If you get less than 60%, that's a fail, and you'd have to do makeup credit in that course. But you don't want to just aim for 60%. 60%, yes, gives you a credit, but then it affects your GPA negatively, as you will see later on. Then Heritage requires you to complete a minimum of 24 credits between grade 9 and 12. The way we have set the schedule, you're going to earn your 24 credits. You don't have to worry about it. This will become clearer as we move on. So we are saying for a full year of a regular course, it's 1 credit. Regular in a sense that there are some courses that have higher than that or lower than that, okay? And then other than PE, an elective starting next year, all credits are given, all courses are given half a credit in 1 semester. But in PE, you get a quarter credit. That's 0.25. Also, electives will also be 0.25 starting next year, but that can change with electives. But with PE, it's set. It's always 0.25. So by the time you finish high school, you'll have 2 credits in PE, okay? Moving on, advanced placement courses give you 2 credits if you sit for the College Board exam. If you sit for the College Board exam, you get 2 credits, okay? Because these are high-level courses. They are called advanced placement because if you complete one successfully and get a very high score, then colleges that participate in the AP program can give you a credit transfer in advance. So, for example, if you do Physics 1, while in grade 11 or grade 12, when you go to participating universities and you are well qualified in that course, then they exempt you from doing physics, for example, during the first semester, if you're going to do physics in university. All right, let's move on. I hope you can all hear me. I feel like I'm competing with the grinding machine. So I told you how this is all worked out. How do you achieve 24 credits between grade 9 and 12? This is how you do it. It's been a long time. I have forgotten how to use this. I think it's a whole year of not using this. So you have to achieve 4 credits in English. That means every year you have to do English. It's mandatory. It's also mandatory for you to do, well, that's the only subject that requires you to do 4 credits between grade 9 and 10 and 12. In math, you're given the option to do either 3 or 4 credits. Either 3 or 4 credits. Same case with science. You do either 3 or 4. So if you choose to do 4 math credits, then you're allowed to do 3 science credits and vice versa. If you choose to do 3 credits in science, then you do 4 in math, okay? That's the option that you have. Then social science, this refers to social studies. You have to do a minimum of 3. If you do 3 and you feel that's enough for you, that's good enough. But there's no problem with you doing a 4th credit. Moving on, PE, as I said, it's 2 credits. Bible, you need to do 2 credits over 4 years while you're at heritage. That means what we have been doing in the past is that we've been doing Bible per semester. You do, for example, Bible in 1st semester, 2nd semester, you don't do it. But that could change. We could spread it out throughout the year, but you have fewer number of days. So anyway, you need to have 2 Bible credits. Then French, it's also 2 credits, but with French, you're getting a full credit for each year. You stop studying French in grade 11. Well, yeah, in grade 11, in grade 10. Grade 10, it will be your last year of studying French. So we have electives. For electives, you must do 1 IT elective by the time you get to grade 12, or even during your grade 12, okay? So you cannot graduate without having done an IT elective. So you can get it out of the way in grade 9, you can get it out of the way in grade 10, or 11, or even 12. The yearbook counts as an IT elective. All right, let's move on. Now, what are electives, you might ask? Electives are non-mandatory courses that you do, and you're provided the time in the schedule to do them. This is your opportunity to explore one subject at a broader level. For example, you could do an elective in English. You're already doing English, but you feel, oh, I'm really good, I'm really interested in English, so I'm going to do an English elective. Or I'm going to do art or drama or whatever we're going to be offering, okay? Some of the electives we've had in the past are in these fields: IT, art, music, sports electives, Bible, science, English, and math. We offer them, we try to vary them as much as possible, but they are offered if you have enough interest in that course. If you're interested in nuclear physics and you're the only person who is interested in that, then we're not going to offer it. Then if you're interested in nuclear physics and we don't have a teacher to offer it, then again, we're not going to offer it. So you have to go with the electives that we have, and then there have to be a quorum in that class, and the teacher must be available. Then let me talk a little bit more about grade point average. It's abbreviated as GPA. It's widely known as GPA. So a GPA is used to measure academic achievement. It's used to measure academic achievement. At Heritage, we don't rank students. Some of you may have come from schools where if you got the highest marks, you're number 1, then second lowest, number 2, and on and on. Here we use GPA. It measures your achievement in all subjects. We use a GPA scale of 4. Other schools use 5, others, I don't know whether they're 6, but at Heritage, we use a GPA of, on a scale of 4. This is how you get your GPA. If you attain a straight A, I see a lot of laughing, I don't think it's really funny. If you attain an A in a subject, that gives you a weight of 4. If you receive B, then that's a 3. C, it's a 2. D is 1. Now you can see why I was saying you're not aiming for just 60%, because then you'll be getting very low scores. A minus is A minus 3.7. I think I should have all of them up. Yeah. A minus 3.7, B minus 2.7, C minus 1.7, D 0.7, C plus is 2.3. Okay, I should have read them in columns rather than rows. But you see that if you don't pass, you get a 0, and you have to repeat that course. That course, you have to make it up in summer, and you do it online. The school will not be responsible to help you pass. No. We have 2 online schools that we work with to help with this kind of thing. One is 7-Star. So you get to sign up. For example, if you failed 1 semester of English, you have to do a credit recovery in summer, and you get a full credit if you pass. But on our side, it shows as a transfer credit. It's not factored in. It's not factored in the calculation of a GPA. We only calculate a GPA based on the courses that have been done at Heritage. The others are just to help you meet the minimum 24 credits that the school requires. Okay, I hope that's clear. So you want a strong GPA in grade 12, start working on it in grade 9. It's almost futile to start working towards a high GPA in grade 12. If you've been averaging at C+, if in most of your subjects you've been receiving 2.3, then the average is obviously 0.3. Okay? If you receive 2 A's and several D's, that will pull it down. Your A's will bring your GPA down. Okay, it's a mathematical formula. I think you've done averages in math. If you haven't, we can maybe discuss that or probably talk to your math teacher about that. But you want to aim for strong grades to end up with a high GPA. Universities consider a strong GPA. It's one of the considerations. They want a strong GPA. They want to see that you're involved in extracurricular activities, for example, sports, performance in school concerts, leadership programs. All these things help to build an impressive CV or curriculum vitae so that you show you're an all-rounded person. You're good in academics, you're good in sports, you're good in all these other things. So that way they can give you an admission. They also look at your SAT scores. I don't know, I can't remember if I have it in my slides. If not, I'll come back to that. So it's a lot of things. So it's time to wake up. If you've been just getting by, having a good time, this is a time to start having academic goals and start working towards the university of your choice. It's not a competition, it's your own achievement. All right, moving on. So I said they start accumulating in grade 9, and at the end of grade 12, you'll get your final GPA. Some students in our school have even had like 3.99. Yep, there are those who've got a 4.0. That means they got an A in every subject. It doesn't matter whether it's art, PE, whatever, they've been receiving an A. And of course, it's not unusual to see someone with a 2.0, yeah, just depending on your achievement. All right. A high GPA depends on quality of coursework and exams. Coursework will be all assignments you receive, daily assignments, homework, participation, attendance, projects, tests, everything the teacher gives you, and it's for a grade. You need to make sure that it is of high quality for you to get an A. Again, there are those people who've come from schools where all you need to do is study your notes before the exams. You do the exam, you get an A, and you're good to go. Not so in Heritage or a school that uses this kind of grading. It's every assignment, okay, every test. And if you, for example, fall sick, you didn't do very well, some teachers will understand. They could allow you to do a retake. It's not guaranteed, so you ask your teacher, can I do a retake? For example, if you have a very good reason why you did not do very well, maybe sickness, or there was a funeral at home, or something. But it's not just a retake for the sake of retake, or just getting a high GPA. No, you do it well the first time it's given to you. Give it your best shot. Okay? As I mentioned earlier that it's not just academics that matter, also participation in other activities. And one of the things universities look for is community service. This refers to you doing voluntary work. It's not for pay, and you're not working for mom and dad or uncle or sister. You're working somewhere in a recognized organization, like a non-government organization, and you put in your hours there, and you're supervised by someone who is not a relative, friend, or it's got to be done by an official who is not related to you. So we have one program that has worked very well for us, and that is Duke of Edinburgh. It was suspended. It was suspended last year just because of COVID, because people are going to be exposed to the sickness. So the class that is graduating, I think on Wednesday, have been exempted from doing it. But you want to start working on it in grade 9. It's open to students who are, I think you must be 15 years. You must be 15. If you're not yet 15, please wait until you're 15 for you to get into it. I'm not too sure they have opened it up yet, but you have 4 years to work towards that. Duke of Edinburgh is strongly recommended at Heritage. You should do it. And the point person for information regarding DOE is Mr. Lufanana. Mr. Lufanana is the one who will be helping you with this. Then the minimum requirement, they have several awards in Duke of Edinburgh. The minimum for Heritage is bronze level. I think there's also silver and gold, but you're just required to do bronze. The components of the program include expedition. You go on, I think, 24-kilometer hike. We've been going to Jinja. There's a school that hosts us there. It's a public school, but again, we could not even do it this year. Then you do the 24-kilometer over, I think, 2 days. You go as a group. Then there's also the service component where you serve other people. For example, helping out at a children's home or doing some charity work, mission work that is not part of the school program. If you go on a school mission, that cannot count. It's got to be a separate thing altogether. Then there's also the life skills. Here, you could do a sport. You could learn how to play a musical instrument, for example, guitar, and you have to clock those hours. And those hours need to be uploaded. I think this is a website, but Mr. Lufanano will clarify that. This is where you upload all your hours. The responsibility of keeping track of your hours is yours, not mine or Mr. Lufanana's. Mr. Lufanano will just be approving the hours on the website. When you do it, when you upload, let him know. Then the goal, why do you get involved in community service or Duke of Edinburgh? It's just to develop your talents. God has given you talents and gifts. You need to use them to serve other people. You need to contribute to the community. It's a way of giving back to society. And it also helps develop your endurance. For example, the expedition. It helps with endurance and physical fitness. And of course, you get to learn a new skill. So if you have very good reasons for not participating in Duke of Edinburgh, you can take another avenue, an alternative avenue, and this has to be approved by the secondary principal. This avenue is called community service. So you need to complete a minimum of 48 hours, and you don't do them in one weekend. They need to be spread out. They need to be spread out over several months. And then you need also to get them approved. You need to be validated by the person who is supervising you, and you need to be giving your records to Mr. Huntington Sumbuga, the registrar. Hours must be verified independently. That means it's not a friend who is doing it, okay? Turn in the hours to the registrar every semester. Yeah, all right. Before we go to time management, I mentioned something about SAT. We offer SAT preparation. SAT stands for a scholastic assessment test, but it's widely known as SAT. This has been used as a tool to help admissions teams in universities make a decision on whether to admit a student or not. Not all universities require it. For example, I'm told schools in Canada do not require it, but it's good to have it because you don't know which university you'll end up getting interested in by the time you're in grade 12. So we give you SAT preparation during the first semester of grade 11, and you could give it a try. We have testing in December, in October, December, and March. So you could enroll for one of those dates. You do it through the college board. You need to create an account there. I know this is information way in advance, but you do it through the college board. If you don't get the right scores, you can do it another time. Yes, but that's a lot of information for now, which I'm not going to overload you with. So we are now on to responsibility and time management. Mrs. Kipterit will take us through this. Yeah.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to see you all here. My name is Miss Trudy, and I'm very excited for you that you can go to high school next year. It's another step in your life. As Mr. Mburo was already saying, that there is a lot of requirements. So in order to achieve well, I just want to have a look at what could you do to make sure that you achieve very well. So one of the things is that you are responsible for your own progress, and how to be responsible is to keep time. Because if you postpone and just be a bit lazy and think like, oh, it will come, I will do that exam or that test later on, or maybe even a retake. No, that is just not possible here at Heritage. We expect high achievement here. So just find a way that works for you to keep things organized. Some people love to see colors and have everything organized by colors. Some, they like that mess, and within that mess they find the right paper. However, I would like to advise you to really keep things well organized, because teachers will keep you on the due dates. At some point, you just have to hand the stuff in, and there is no excuse anymore. Also, when you have something what is happening within your family life, you can ask Ms. Mburu for a day off, but make sure that your parents are aware of that, and that it is also in communication with your parents. When you need to get in some time off for a hospital appointment or a funeral, those things are possible, and also teachers will be made aware of that you are just not able to meet a deadline due to a certain circumstance within your family. So also, use your free time wisely at school to keep up with your work. Mr. Mburo also told us that at some point you will get some study halls. A study hall is a time that you can just study, as the word says. Some of us really like to relax and enjoy the nice compound here and friends, but that is sometimes not very helpful, because then you will miss out on your work and you need to do it at home. Instead, the school is just giving you time to do it here at school. So use that time wisely. Now, balance is key. If you continue focusing on your work only, you will get exhausted. So have a good balance between your free time and your schoolwork. Mentally healthy people will achieve much more. And to stay healthy means that you just have also some time to relax. But don't make a time to relax too long, because then again, you will not meet your deadlines. So when it comes to homework, be aware that you will get more homework. You can ask the 10th graders who are available for questions at how much will it be. But I'm telling you, it will be quite some more homework. Google Classroom, you are very lucky. You already got early introduced to Google Classroom. You know how it works, but it will be just part of your daily life again in high school. So also what stays here is that learn your teacher. Of course, the teacher is encouraged to learn you, but also learn to get to know your teacher better, because all teachers have their own styles of teaching and how to hand in things. Make sure that you know what is expected from each teacher. So when you turn in work late, then you will get a penalty. I'm so sorry, but there is not much grace in there. And that affects your grade, and ultimately it will affect your GPA in the way Mr. Mburu was explaining. So make sure that you are on time, keeping your deadlines for your future benefit. So now a laptop is needed for school use. It's mandatory to have one when you go to high school, so please talk with your parents when you don't have one yet. You are responsible for your own laptop. When that one is damaged, it is your responsibility to repair it and to still keep up with your work. And of course, we do have our technology use policy. That one will be handed out in the beginning of the school year, so that you need to sign for how you're going to use the technology. It should be focused on education and using the Google Classroom and so on. And of course, we all like to be connected online, but also there, we like to make sure that you're doing it in a safe way, that you have safe connections online. So when it comes to social media, we expect you also to be safe, so that not only you, but also your friends and the school is a safe environment to learn. Okay, so in the way Mr. Mburu was already saying, it is not too early to start thinking about what you want to do before you graduate or after you graduate. So keep on thinking, keep on talking with people around you, keep talking with your family, friends, and explore your interests with electives, extracurriculars, and volunteer work in the way Mr. Mburu explained. So I think also what Mr. Mburu explains about AP courses, they will start in grade 11. To make sure that you are going to really focus more on your interests when it comes to academics. SAT testing is being talked about, and the summer courses and academic programs. So if you have any questions about your future career, don't feel shy. Just don't hesitate and talk to Mr. Mburu. He is willing, and Mrs. Smith, we have a new colleague coming in. Good to know. She will be there to help us with that transition. And it is a huge step, but the more you're growing towards grade 12, the more you will need her to prepare yourself well. So know that we are here to support you. Also when things are a bit tough, our department, the Student Support Services Department, is really willing to help you. So please feel free to just let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Trudy. I need to mention one more thing about attendance. If you miss more than 10 days in a semester, for no good reason, you don't get a credit. You lose your credits for the whole semester. And that can be really frustrating, for example, because you may need to repeat that grade, okay? So, but if you have valid reason, for example, bereavement, sickness, ask your parents to write to the school, produce a doctor's note if it's a sickness, and then it will be excused and you'll be able to make up your work. But if you are missing school for no good reason, you get a 0 in that assignment. And now we come to the question and answer session. I know we've been talking to you, but now it's your chance to talk to us. And also, as we said, we have grade 10 students. You could ask some questions regarding the experience in high school so far. Anyone with a question, either for me, for Ms. Kipterit, or for grade 10 students. Any questions? All right, Anika, do you have another microphone we could? Oh, it's here. Okay. Anika is in red. In a red T-shirt.
Okay. Is it possible to get a 5?
A 5?
Yeah.
For GPA, we're not giving 5, a weight of 5. So far we are doing 4. In the future, probably we may move towards 5 if you do an AP course. But for now, all is weighted on a scale of 4. Any other question?
Is there a specific number of hours we need for Duke of Edinburgh?
Sorry, I just wait a little bit. Or you speak loudly.
Is there a specific number of hours we need for Duke of Edinburgh?
To get a mark?
Yeah.
Yes, good question. Semester courses should be 60 hours, except for PE. PE is lower. It should be 30. For quarter credits are 30 hours, half credits are 60 hours, full credit will be 120 hours. We actually count the number of days that we have, you have been taught. Oh, for service hours, the breakdown, sorry, I don't have it at the top of my mind, but I know like skills could be like 12 hours, hobby, 12 hours. Yeah, they are broken down. Mr. Lufanana will help you with that. I thought you were talking about academic credits. All right, ask a question.
This is for the 10th graders. What things did you have to quit in order to, focus on school and get your credits and stuff?
Anyway, someone who is being focused, one of you? Who? Okay. You're next. You can stand.
I mean, before like Corona, there was like sports and everything, but I think it's like up to you on how you want to control your time. For example, I played basketball. I had a lot of basketball practice and all that kind of stuff, but I still kind of managed to get my work done. So when you get home and like, let's say you were given an assignment that was due maybe like the next day, or let's say you were given to it and it's like due next week, maybe give it some time. Like if it's not, you don't have basketball practice or something, you use that time instead of using that time to be on your phone and like procrastinating and stuff. So it's better. It's better if you just focus more in school, but because, I mean, you are at school majority of the time, and you can also call your friends and ask them if you need help. So it's basically up to you.
I was just wondering, like, did you say 120 hours per semester?
Oh, a whole year, 120 hours.
Okay.
Okay. Another question? Any other question? Yes.
Is there going to be a career fair?
Career fair. Yes, we have career fairs. We didn't have one this year just because of COVID. We participate in the Rainbow International one that involves universities from different continents, Europe, North America, and some Asian countries. That happens usually in November, but that's open to students in grade 12. But we've also had our own career fair where we ask professionals to come and engage with our students. And I think you already participated in that one when you're in grade, I think probably grade 6. Well, okay, if not, then this time we could not have it just because of COVID restrictions, but we've had it in the past So we're going to have those. And they're organizing virtual ones. Universities do their own career fairs, but yes, you'll have an opportunity for career fairs. Valerie?
How many electives are allowed per grade?
Say that again.
How many electives are allowed per grade?
Each semester, you're allowed a maximum of 2 electives in a day. But because of studying Bible the first semester, you probably are going to just have 1 elective in one semester, then another elective the next semester. But in grade 10 onwards, you could do 2 electives. Grade 11, you're probably going to end up with 1 elective if you're taking 1 AP course. If you're taking 2 AP courses, you may end up not taking any elective. And then the AP course can serve as your elective, but maximum of 2 at any given time. Other questions? Yes, Anika? And remember that we have these friends of ours who've come ready to answer your questions.
Yeah. So this is for the 10th graders. Do you guys have any like university recommendations? or anything?
Jesse is willing to answer that question.
Well, it really depends on what you want to do. Like, for example, for me, I know I want to go into acting. So I've checked like many universities like UCLA, NYU, SCAD. So just like if you want to like focus on a direct field, just look at universities that like have like really good programs and stuff like that.
Okay, so basically, I have done a lot of research personally about universities. It's been something that I've been like, really interested in. I've changed my career plans a bunch of times if you ask these guys. At one point it was law, then it changed a lot. And that's fine, actually. It's really good when you want to explore what you want to do, because it's something that you're going to do for the rest of your life. So you need to know, you don't need to know, like when you're in 9th grade, what you want to do for the rest of your life, because it's a really big decision. And the same goes for colleges. You're going to be at your college most likely for like 4 years, hopefully, not any more than that. And 4 years is a long time. So, yeah. So there are a lot of colleges that, that I've looked at. Some of the best ones that I know don't actually have to be. A lot of people think that some of the best ones are in the US, but they're actually throughout the US and in Canada, and actually in the UK as well. There's some really good ones in Canada and the UK that you should look at. I don't have any specific because it really depends on the person and where you want to be and your preferences. But the thing I wanted to say was just to keep an open mind with what you want to do and the colleges you want to go to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, that they have really nailed it. Interests change. Some students get to grade 12 without knowing what they want to do, and they have to decide when they're in the university, especially American universities. You can do 2 years of general education as you make up your mind what you want to do. But yes, I'm glad that you're already starting to think about university now, because if you don't think about it, then you'll be stranded. Remember, your parents or guardians are also an important part of your decision making. You need to engage them so that they can help you with their advice. Yes. All right. Do you have any other question? We have. Just remind me your name.
It's Bryn.
Bryn. Okay. Yeah.
Do you have any advice, like with time management or homework or stuff like that?
Anyone in grade 10?
10th graders.
Time management, homework. Sonakshi, then Paul. Or just Sonakshi.
So really just, I would say, don't procrastinate, because in my personal experience, I've procrastinated a lot, and I've struggled. Procrastination is when you put off your work till later. You keep postponing it, and you don't do it as soon as you receive it. So don't do that, because you end up wasting a lot of time that you could have used, and you'll mess up like your sleep schedule, your assignments will be like messed up. So just like do your work as soon as you get it, and like finish it, so that you have a lot of time to do it perfectly and get a good grade.
So if you're going to, like, when you come to high school, you need to make your priorities right. If your priority is having fun, then you're going to go home and you're going to watch YouTube and you're not going to get your work done. You're going to end up procrastinating. So when you get to high school, even now, you need to start making your priorities straight. Whatever your priorities are, either it's schoolwork, sports, and then fun, or whatever you choose. But you need to get your priorities right. And based on what those priorities are, you will achieve more or achieve less. So just think about that.
Okay, this is for the 10th graders again. How many hours on average do you guys sleep?
Who hasn't spoken?
It also has to do with procrastination. Like if your assignment is like due the following day, and you decided to like put it off for a long time, and then you start at like maybe, let's say 9, if you started really late, definitely your sleep schedule will be messed up because you have to, put it up on time. So it just depends on you and how you prioritize your time. And if you do your work on time, like our lady here, you will get enough sleep.
So another thing is when you think about, so obviously everyone's sleep schedule is going to be different, but the most important thing is, okay, so when you look at certain, like if you were to Google it, how much sleep should you get? It says 8 hours. 8 hours? Definitely. Try to get 8 hours. But honestly, there are going to be some times where you're not able to get 8 hours. And really don't panic about that. I would say, like at a minimum, you should probably get at least 6 hours of sleep, especially like on a, and that should be like on a, like not something that's constant. You should really try to get like, between like 7 or 8 hours of sleep. It's really good for you. It helps a lot. And yeah, basically.
To the next question, thank you. Yeah. Lakisha has a question.
On the slides, it says something like IT being mandatory. Does that mean we have to take it?
IT elective is mandatory. I know it sounds like a contradiction. It's an elective, but it's mandatory. Yes, you must do one elective course by the time you graduate. It's just for a semester. But if you do AP Computer Science, that takes care of it. If you do yearbook, that takes care of it. All right? The middle school students, you'll need to come and sanitize before you leave if you have shared a microphone. Yeah. Any other question? All right. Thank you so much for your questions, for listening. You could come and talk to me, ask me questions, ask Ms. Trudy questions, the counselor. We'll meet a new teacher for careers. She will be available even to help grade 10s. So keep asking those questions. Do not feel shy. One last question from you, dear.
When do we get to pick our electives?
Electives. Oh, electives. We normally have electives done by the end of the second semester, but this time round, they are not ready. I will be sending an email in July asking you to choose your electives in July. Yeah. It will be a Google form. Okay. Thank you so much. You may have a break. We'll meet again for the award ceremony at 1:30.